Okay, so today is July 16th, 8 p.m. Well, after it's 8:08. It's a FamiLAB membership meeting, the general membership. So call to order. The link is in there for anybody who I guess is listening but didn't follow the link. Anyway, all attendees, please mute your mic so that we can do everything properly. And everybody here, remember, as you talk and they talk, they can't always hear each other. The mic cancels each other out. So trying to avoid crosstalk as much as possible. And then for headcount, if everybody can quickly go to familab.org/sign-in, and then just sign in that you're here today, just so we can get a head count, both online and in person.
If you insist.
Please and thank you. So we'll go ahead and move on while you guys are doing that. The financial update, membership changes. So we got a good count, a solid count of our membership. We have 65 paying members. It says on the sheet full paying members, but I don't want that to be like the 75 versus 50, whatever. It's 65 actual paying members, and then there's 15 special cases. There's a lot of like legacy people that really don't. A lot of them don't even come to the lab, but we just keep them as members because they started the lab at some point. Some of them. There's other ones that like teaching agreements and things like that. So roughly about 80 members. Well, no, not roughly. Total 80 members in total. 65 are paying. So that kind of gives us a better number, whereas before we were like 100-ish. So these are actual solid numbers as of the writing of this document, which I don't think we've had any changes since then. So the P&L for June. So this gets a little bit complicated because when you normally businesses they track their finances, but they don't necessarily report them monthly. It's usually at least quarterly because month to month things can overlap. So last month we're all excited because we're in the green. We're a couple of hundred in the green, and now we're 375 negative. But part of that is an overlap of a couple bills. So between the two, we're pretty much exactly in the black. So we're still doing good. It may not be as good as we thought last month, but we are still doing really good. We haven't lost anything in terms of numbers between now and then. So that was just strictly bills that had overlapped. I think one of them was a Duke Energy bill that it got missed in the mix of the move, things like that. So and then there was a software bill in there too, I believe.
Adam, does this include the amortized cost for that long-term expense item we talked about last meeting? So there was like a couple $1,000 expense from the last meeting we talked about.
No, I think of what might come up. Is that what you're talking about?
Wasn't there a several $1,000 expense that we had for something? I said, are you going to let it all hit next month, or are you going to amortize it?
I don't recall what that is exactly.
I believe that was in last month's financials because it was offset by the moving donations.
What was it though?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Brainy.
The waste management contract?
No.
Oh well.
I think we were talking about stuff that might come up because things that we need to settle up properly, like insurance. There's the gas bill for the welding that didn't necessarily come through yet either. There's a few annual things that may come up, and I think this is what we were talking about. I don't think there's any one specific, but there are a few annual things that we still need to fix and pay, and that'll put us in negative big for those months. But instead of doing that, we're having to really kind of divide it up across the year. So any annual expenses will be spread out throughout the year when it comes to reporting. So that way we can get a better idea of month to month what we do. And that's another one of those things why businesses don't normally do the month to month type thing. But we just try and keep everybody apprised every month. Just give you an idea.
perhaps on future agendas, instead of doing a month thing, have a rolling number of the past 4 months or whatever?
We could, I thought about that too. For right now, just there's so much other stuff on our plates right now, I'm just kind of leaving the format the same. But that's an excellent point. That's something that I thought about previously as well. So general house cleaning, AC in the FamiLAB still doesn't seem to be working incredibly great. The landlord was in contact with the AC guys and put in a ticket. I haven't gotten notice that they came by. So, and it still looks like it's running like crap. So I'm going to give him a call again, or have one of the other board members do it. Possibly ops, we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, we'll just have to get back on them and say, hey, these you guys didn't come by. Just to be aware. So when you're running the laser, just like we had to do in the old building when the FamiLAB AC was broken, leave this door open. I know it kind of sucks for exhaust type reasons and it drains our AC, but it's really the only decent way of keeping the laser cool, because the hotter it runs, the more life or the less life the tube has. It drains the tube a lot more. It makes the tube less doesn't last as long. So yeah, always keep those doors open when you're running the laser. Otherwise, you don't necessarily need to keep them open. When I'm running the 3D printers, I'll also keep it open like right now, just because those 3D printers kind of heat up a bit. And if you're sitting in there working on stuff, you're gonna end up sweating your butt off. So it's okay to leave the door open for now. Normally we have it closed when the laser's running. Right now it's opposite. On that note though, always keep this warehouse door closed. We put the fix, the little latch thing for it. I put it on Amazon, the Amazon wish list, and then I don't know if you guys saw, I posted Amazon wish list in Slack. Somebody had already donated and bought that. My dumbass just keeps forgetting to bring it to install it. So again, it's at my house. It's like the 4th time I've come here and forgotten. So eventually I will bring it and we'll install that. But you can see as it's cracked right now, just the pressure of opening and closing other doors can pop that open. So just kind of keep an eye on it, keep it closed as much as possible, because all the heat's out there. Let's keep it out there. So workshops. So workshops open house, everything has been re-added to the calendar. I think we went over this before. We've actually been seeing a lot more stuff added to the calendar lately. There's I'm not going to go over all of them, but there's a fiber arts is starting to back out. I think Justin Parrish was doing a blender thing. We didn't get those added to this, did we?
No, Blender's not on there because we just can't do it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the D&D nights, I think that's on here though.
D&D's next one.
So yeah.
And I think Mac was kind of restarted multimedia nights and fits and spurts a little too.
No, is he? He didn't submit anything yet.
Okay.
Did he tell you he was going to?
I think he said he was going to do it, but just didn't actually do it.
Okay. I'll reach out to him. I think last time I talked to him, he was still, he had just finished up the whole audio thing he was doing.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called.
And I'm going to get another model building session
Okay.
on there. I'll try to do that
Cool.
ish.
And Kristen added,
Art.
oh yeah, the art hangout. So thank you to Kristen, Brian, Dana for the new events, and then anybody who's, those are the ones that have just run. That's at typing this, those were the ones I ran. But thank you to everybody who's adding more events. That's awesome. It's exactly what we need. And remember, if you want to host an event, you go to the website, fill out the teach a class or host an event thing, the form on the page on the website, and we'll get it added to the calendar and everything. And it doesn't have to be a free event. It can be a paid event. There's all kinds of options in there. And the paid events right now, I think in the past, and I think in our policies, you're supposed to donate some of that to the lab, but we're not holding you accountable for that right now. If you're willing to do an event and you want to charge for it and it gets people here, I'm happy for you to do that. If you want to donate some, you can, you don't have to. So, I mean, I don't know if some people do some side work, it might be a little bit of extra income for you. I don't know. It's an option.
Or it might cover pizza for your event.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the events, something we pointed out before, is the events don't have to be public. I mean, we've had a birthday party that was thrown here. That was a private birthday party. Brian had done a private event for him and his buddies. So I mean, there's you as a member, you get this room to use if you want to schedule it. So even if you're pulling in a private event, those people are potentials. I mean, worst case scenario, those people are going to go talk about how cool this place was after they leave. So it's just getting the word out is good for us. Just keep that in mind when you think about events and whatnot you want to do. If you want to do an event but don't know what to do, please reach out because we have a million ideas and we could probably match something to your skill set. If you say I don't know woodworking, but I know metalworking, I know programming or small microcontroller type stuff, we have all kinds of ideas of stuff that you can do, and we might have supplies for that, and we might also be able to sponsor some supplies for you. So it's very important that we have events. So let us know if you want to do something. So moving on, we have an additional open house we started on a Saturday. I didn't put it on here. I believe it's the third Saturday of the month. Last Saturday of the month. So we're doing the last Saturday of the month as an open house. We did it as a test, I think once or twice, and it was a great turnout. So we decided to continue doing that. I know Tuesdays are usually the days that we've been busy, but in my experience, a lot of people are working weekdays, so it might be easier for them to be here on a weekend, especially if they're driving from somewhere further, like Deltona or something. They don't want to drive all the way out here, hang out on a Tuesday until 10, 11 o'clock, and then drive all the way back. They got kids and stuff. That's hard. So yeah, we're doing Saturday, and it's actually during. I think it was 1 to 3 last night, or 1 to 4, something like that. So it's definitely different, and it does seem like it's bringing people in. So keep an eye out for that. Feel free to come by, hang out, help give tours and whatnot. Just same as the other open house, we still have members giving tours and just hang out, talking about the place, working on projects. Amazon wish list, I already talked about this. I added some stuff again to it today for the audio setup because I don't know if we lost stuff in the process. I was going to talk to you. But I'm missing some cables that I think I need to get some of the audio set back up. So we already did have one person, like I said, they donated one thing. We got a serial USB cable, and then we got the door thing. I don't know if they want to be called that or not, but thank you for that. And it's super simple. I'm trying to put cheap stuff on there, small stuff, because that stuff kind of adds up. I was looking at the money I was spending. Mike probably knows this from build out. I was looking at the money I was spending on small stuff around here, and it was too much. That's why I started putting the small stuff on. Like I said, we already got people donating, so every little bit helps. So Maker Faire. Moving on, Maker Faire. We got to talk about it all the time. Bring it up. How many of you here, and I guess you can raise your hand online, how many of you don't know what Maker Faire is or have never been to one?
Do I need to find where that blue bag is now?
I can't.
Lily's also, and Kyle.
Of course you get smart asses. Anyway, so those of you who don't know or whatever, Maker Faire is a
The fruit spinach?
oh, that was a printer. I was like, someone playing a video game over there? She's like, yeah, it's not me. Anyway, so Maker Faire they call it the world's largest show and tell. It's basically just a place to either go and show off stuff that you made. There's other maker spaces, hacker spaces that are there displaying their stuff and showing off what they do, what they have. There's also events like BattleBots, power racing. Mike does the power racing over there, which is just power wheels modded to big, adults and small vehicles running around. It's hilarious. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that. There's also vendors selling stuff. It's a huge thing for us to be there because it really it really gets our name out there more. We hadn't gone for a couple of years, and last year we went again finally, and it was just we just had, even though we just had one small booth or one small table with a bunch of stuff on it. Well, one and a half because those one guys let us use half their table, and we basically took the lobby and put it out there. All the stuff that was made that was sitting around the lobby, we just put it out there, had some flyers, and talked about FamiLAB. And after that, in the next following weeks, we had a lot of people showing up like almost daily, because even though it was like open house on Tuesday, we had just people showing up every Tuesday at the minimum, and then more people coming in after that. So it's really a good way for us to get our name out there to people who don't know about us or don't even know what maker spaces are. And it's also good for us to do with the community and just to be involved with the maker community. So with that rant over, we need stuff to put there. So last time, like I said, we just had a display of stuff we made. If we can get something interactive, that'd be awesome. Like, I don't know, make a little game or something that can be played. We had one that was like almost like a live Pong back in the day. I wasn't there. Do you want to describe it at all? Right.
It was pretty much a physical Pong table.
Yeah.
Where we had the paddles were actually little servos where you held down a button and it would flick a ping pong ball across a gently sloped surface, and it was a tug of war style setup. So you had to get up 3 points over your opponent to actually win. And it was fun. We built it in like 48 hours for a hackathon. And it survived, and we got second place, and the trophy for that is sitting around somewhere.
Nice.
And the actual pong table got rebuilt a little bit.
I think Johan actually took it and was working on it. He's hoping to have something for Maker Faire. But something like that, something that stops people at the booth. I mean, we can sit there and say our spiel all day and hand out flyers, and yeah, we can do that, and that worked for us that day. But when people would stop and play with the lightsabers that he had and have a lightsaber battle there, you all of a sudden had a crowd of people stopping and watching and paying attention to that.
So the other thing, I just want to make sure that we do it correctly as well. FamiLAB should register a booth that is a 8-foot table in a 10 by 10 space. We should put our flyers on the booth, but then like Brian, I'm just gonna pick on you because you're right here. Brian's lightsabers should be a second booth. If Glinsky wants to show off art, that's a third booth. Right. If we have the ping pong table thing, that's a fourth booth. It's not all under FamiLAB, because if you do that, FamiLAB still only gets one 10 by 10 table. So
do it that way and just say we're all affiliated. The organizers will be nice and put us all clustered together.
That's correct. And even if you can't be there the whole time, but someone else can show off your art, like if you're involved in another thing, like if you've got a robot that you're battling, you can go do that when you have battles and come back. And then if we're all together, someone else can watch your table while you're gone. Like, hey, this isn't my stuff, but I can show you this stuff while they're gone. Right. So it's like the power in numbers kind of thing. Because even if we had, 8 tables, let's say, right? You really only need 3 or 4 people to man that entire space.
We did one thing. We did one year have like 8 tables.
Well, the biggest year we had was 16.
Yeah, we even have a giant display, big circular display with it. It's insane. So I'd love to get back up to that. What I was gonna say to Mike's point is that when the Call to Makers comes out, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be talking about it a lot. So when the Call to Makers comes out or starts and it's announced and we can actually register, we'll start talking more about it and explaining to you how to register properly. And we will even work with you during your registration. I'll sit down with you and walk you through the registration if you absolutely need. It doesn't matter as long as we get as many registrations as we really can. I'd love to have a huge attendance there.
And where are we going to talk about Maker Faire stuff?
Do we have a Maker Faire channel? Yeah, we have a Maker Faire channel. I'm sure I'm Yeah, in Slack, just like normal in Slack in the Maker Faire channel. We'll try and keep all the Maker Faire discussions there, but just keep in mind there might be sporadic ones around too. But that's where the main information will be, like when Call Makers goes out and you can sign up, it'll be posted there. And all that.
Can we keep an internal rolling list of everyone who is associated with us, so that if for some reason someone is missed on the producer side that's with us, that we can make sure to tell them, oh yeah, so and so is absolutely with us. Put them right next to us.
Yes.
Just our own list of who's associated.
Yes, absolutely.
The other thing is just if anyone has a real knack for it, we don't have to have, let's say if we have 8 tables, we don't have to have 8 physical tables, and we don't have to have 8 tables at the very front with everyone standing behind. If you've ever been to an actual convention somewhere, very rarely is there 2 people sitting behind a table in a 10x10 booth not talking about just talking about their product. They do, it's really kind of meh.
Yeah.
But if we make it an open space with tables, we could absolutely do that. There are our booths to do with whatever we want once we got them. We've got the physical space.
Right. And to go back to making things, showing them off the Maker Faire, things like that, they don't have to be original. If you find something on, like we were talking about Make.com, me and Justin were going through the magazines and Make magazines, Adafruit's website, things like that, finding projects to make. We actually found a YouTube guy made I'll show it during our show and tell thing, but basically made a 3D printed digital clock, and I'm gonna make that and have that displayed there as well.
There's only 2 rules so far that I know of about what you can't do at Maker Faire. No full-size trebuchets or other medieval siege weapons.
Actually, those are allowed again.
Are they?
Yep.
With heavy safety protocols and
Yes.
fire outside.
I like how they have to, like, they specifically called that out. That's like the hot coffee has to have the hot coffee label on it. It's like,
There
there
are
was a reason.
Don't make us make a rule.
Yeah. After 10 years, we've lifted the rule.
So yeah, anything you can possibly come up with. I mean, even if you think it's dumb or whatever, just post it in Maker Faire and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? And you'll get feedback from everybody. Most likely, most people will say, yeah, do it, because as long as it's not, that's not true. I just thought how crazy ideas you guys come up with. So anyway, post it in Maker Faire channel, and we'll suggest safety precautions. But no, really, it's very important that we have a good presence there. So let's
There's a
try and keep
question.
up on that. Kirsten, you got a question?
Hey, yeah. So is there a cost associated for us to have a booth? Like if we have 10 booths, is that like $100 a booth?
Nope, it's free to exhibit. It costs to sell.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, and that's even a soft line.
I don't know what that means.
We
if
know
you're-
people.
Well, more or less, if you're a vendor selling stuff that you bought from China, and that's all it is, yeah, we're just going to charge you because that's dumb. If you make it yourself and you make it like there, like let's say you make jewelry or something, and you're there like making jewelry at the fair and selling it, but you've got a bunch of back stock, there may be some discounts offered, and it's a negotiable thing. Like if you're a glass blower who's sitting there blowing freaking glass for 2 days, people would love to see that.
Yeah.
That would be really neat. But
Fire goes outside.
fire goes outside. Yeah.
It's also free for charity organizations. So like I know that Maker FX does the soldering kits for the kids and they ask for a donation.
Yeah.
So nonprofits can actually raise funds
Correct.
when interactive.
Correct.
Donations.
Yep.
I would say that kind of stuff discussed with the producers of Maker Faire, but they're usually pretty willing to work with groups.
Yeah, and a good place to start is always putting in for an exhibit table as soon as you can.
Yeah, just apply for the exhibit and then and then they basically just respond through email and talk to you about it. In my experience, anyway. Right. Cool. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're making stuff. Just think like if it's something cool you want to show off at Maker Faire. The other thing is that is as much as we want multiple tables, we also are going to have most likely empty table space. So even if you can't be there, but you want to show something off, then just talk to us, talk about it in the Maker Faire channel, and we can just make sure it either gets put on a table with a description where so people know, when people ask questions, we know what the hell we're talking about. Or maybe we can even register you as a table and somebody else can take over for you. So even if you can't make it, just keep that in mind. But we do need people to man the tables as well. Like we're talking about 8 tables, 4 people running them. We kind of suck, but we could do it. It's just if we could get more people, it would be better.
Listen, do you still have a question? You have your hand still up.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So outreach, the meeting attendance has kind of fallen off for outreach. I know a lot of us have been busy lately, but this is another very important one. This is one of the things that we did for like the grand reopening. People in outreach actually did this. We had a lot of good ideas in the beginning too, such as going to taking specifically made flyers and going to apartment complexes and putting those up. We had a lot of people actually interested in that, and then it kind of fell off. So in order to keep rolling and keep making the space improve and build it and make it great, we need better attendance there. So if we can get more people to attend it, or at least talk about things in the outreach channel, that would be great. We post a lot of stuff in there about stuff we're working on and stuff we need help with. We also have meeting notes from all the meetings that we go through. We can give you access to that. It's just we need people involved a little bit more in the outreach. Not a lot. It doesn't require a lot. We don't expect you to be a graphic designer and design our next flyer for us, but maybe just giving ideas about the flyer or giving ideas of things that we can do. If you know anything about grants, I know we had a couple new people, I don't think they were here, a couple new people talking about they had some connections with grants. That'd be great if we talk about that in there. So yeah, just be aware that there is an outreach team for added stuff to do to, gain another source of income and another way of running the space. Another way of funding the space, other than just the membership dues, because that really kind of leaves us to, one small source of not small, but one source of income is kind of hard to, without constantly increasing dues, it's hard to expand. The more people we get, the more income we get, which is cool until the space fills up with people all the time, because we have more people, not enough space, and still not enough money. Anyway, outreach is good. We need people to help doing it. Hurricanes and storms. In the storm season, we redid during the board retreat, we did the hurricane, what is it called? I'm having
Hurricane preparedness plan?
Yeah, it's inclement weather. Yeah, inclement weather preparedness. So it'll be posted, I believe, on the website, but it is on a Google Drive. If anybody wants to see it, we'll share it. We'll post it here. There's really the basic thing behind it is FamiLAB is not a shelter. You can't stay here if your power's out. You can't come here to weather out a storm. If we're in the path of a named storm, or if the county or city shuts down their streets, an alert will go out from the board that'll say that the doors are being locked. We'll disconnect the badge access, and we won't be allowing people in until the storm's over and somebody walks through it. Somebody either from border ops walks through and verifies everything's good. There's no safety risk. So our insurance does not cover you getting whisked away by a hurricane. So please don't stay here if there's a hurricane. It's basically just we kind of updated it for this location because certain things change, like which breakers will turn off, locking the doors. But yeah, it's just a reminder now that we're in our hurricane storm season, whatever you want to call it, Florida. So yeah, if you have any questions about it, let us know. Membership numbers. What we were talking about before, membership numbers are increasing, and it's helping our income. This kind of goes with the outreach stuff. Is that while the membership numbers are increasing and our income is starting to increase, we're also, the board has been spending more money on the day-to-day operations or the overall operations of the lab itself. And that's really just to kind of, we're doing something a little bit different than before. We're not relying solely on donations because our membership dues barely pays the bills. If we get extra donations, yeah, we can replace the AC filters and do a couple other things, but AC filters alone probably cost more than the extra donations that we get.
We're gonna have to switch to single ply toilet paper.
Yes, yeah, single ply toilet paper, or we can get rags, just flip it over.
Reuse. Community cloth.
Community cloth.
Just 3 seashells.
Just 3 seashells. So no, that's disgusting. The point is that we're trying to run the lab a little bit different to make sure it's a bit more stable and a bit more I don't know how to put it, but I don't want to say like not dirty because it's still, we still need members to help clean up, but toilet paper and things like that, we want to make sure we don't run out of that and then member be like duck walking down the street to buy some because they gotta, we ran out. So point is that we're spending a little bit more money on that kind of stuff. Other things like build out stuff and whatnot, we're still hoping to refund some people for. So with that said, that kind of leads us into, I'm going to jump over the membership process for a second, is the member dues. It kind of leads us into that. What we're proposing with the membership, the board is proposing is to increase all members to the $75 mark. Before we couldn't do it because we couldn't just increase it in PayPal. So it was like you had to cancel and then add it. We actually found a way we can increase your dues now. So, and it does alert you and all that. We're not going to do it right off the bat. We're giving a lot of people a lot of notice. We're planning on doing it in January 1st. Starting January 1st, the dues will be 75. So whatever cycle you're in when it hits in January, if you're at 50 now, it'll be 75 then. However, FamiLAB has always been okay with doing special cases. People who are on like fixed incomes or have any kind of financial issues, or even if you're doing something, there's a teacher agreement that can potentially get you a free membership if you just do class every once in a while. We review it every couple months just to make sure that you're doing what you're doing. We're giving you the membership. So it's not like, you should hurry up and say, well, screw it, I can't afford 75. Let us know first. It's one thing to keep everything more streamlined, keep everything more fair. But we're still, like I said, we're still okay with special cases. We just need to know about them.
What if we have multiple payment set up?
I was gonna say that because mine's the same way. I can actually, if you have multiple, because we asked people to increase before, like what I did and what Mike did, I had 50, I was doing 50, so then I added another 25. So I have 2 recurring payments, a 50 and a 25. I can actually increase, if you want, I can change one to the proper amount and we can cancel the other one. So just let me know, whoever wants to do that. I'll jump in PayPal and I'll get that sorted out for you. But the other option is you can cancel both and start another one, but it's kind of a pain. Plus it flags, we pop up on our side and say, hey, so-and-so canceled. Why are they leaving us? But did either of you two, I don't know if Johan's on either. Did either of you two want to say anything about that? Because I know that's going to be a hot topic around here.
Yeah, no, I just think if you have concerns, bring it up with us on the board and chat through it all. Again, all we see is slowly cautiously still continuing, and that's why we want to push this through. But we also know that not everybody's exactly in the same position that everyone else is. And of course, we're asking new membership to pay, so it's been 6 months since we got started that. I figure January 25 is a good time frame to have that conversation.
But we'll be talking about it every meeting. We'll be talking about it here and there. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. Emails will go out. In fact, if you're not getting emails from us, I'll talk about that in a minute. Just let us know so we can verify we have the correct email address on file. But yeah, so don't panic and rage quit on us. Give us a message first and let us know what's going on, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Because in the end, it's community people. As much as we want to expand, we want to have fancy tools. We also are here to just teach each other skills and learn. So I mean, that's I think one of our biggest selling points at FamiLAB. So if we're going to compromise that for $25 a month, it's not worth it, minus. So yeah, just let us know.
Are we going to retain a booster level?
I mean, it's weird. The old one was just kind of like,
You don't get anything.
yeah, you didn't get anything. It's just, yeah. I mean,
The one thing that you did get originally, I don't know if the language changed, was that at the booster level, you could sponsor someone not in your immediate family for a full membership. So like if you had a friend who you're like, I really want to pay for them to go, you could essentially be at the booster level, which was double the original membership value. And this was how it was way originally. I don't know where it changed to. But that's what it was, is that double the original level, you could sponsor someone else. Basically, you were just paying their membership level.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think we've had.
I believe it's still set up that way.
We do also have, which we haven't talked about yet much, but because we don't have this room cleared out, but we do have where members can pay $25 more for storage space. For it's a set amount of space. It's like the tote, like we did before, so that you can store your project level stuff here. And did I skip, or did we just not put the ops thing on?
I was going to ask if we were going to talk about ops. It must have missed the.
Yeah, I'm just going to segue into that. So one of the things we're doing now is we're trying to build up the ops team. Before it was kind of like whoever's willing to help, we're just going to call you ops and give you some kind of access to whatever you need because we need the help. But it's kind of hit or miss with that, and we kind of wanted to add some incentive to it. And the only incentive we can come up with right now that isn't financial gain or financially motivated because of the way our funds are right now is you get that storage space for free. So if you want to be on ops, we're going to have you basically fill out an agreement form or something we'll come up with. I don't think we did that yet, but we'll have something quickly come up for you, and we'll review it just like the teaching agreement. We're going to review it every so many months, and we have Trello set up now. We're going to give you Trello access to whatever you need, Trello access and any kind of admin access or admin type access to whatever you need. For instance, John Parrish wants to help us with the website stuff. I think he's on here, yeah. And he keeps asking me, so why don't you remind me? We need to get him access to the website stuff. So basically, he's going to get Trello. He's going to get the Bitwarden access to the website, login stuff. So now he can help work on the website, and that's going to gain him an ops spot, and that ops spot will give him storage space if he needs it. That's the only thing we can come up with right now. If you guys have other ideas, please speak out. One idea I had when financials get a little bit better is maybe like a $50 gift card to your favorite hobby shop or some kind of gift card or something, something to kind of keep people motivated to do, because nobody wants to do work for free.
What would motivate you to join in and do something?
Yeah, so anything you can think of.
What will you sell yourself for?
What will you sell your soul for? No, yeah, anything anything that you would like. I mean, just let us know and what you think is fair, and we can talk about it and figure it out. But yeah, we're really trying to build that ops team. We have a lot of tasks in Trello. So anybody interested, please let us know as soon as possible, and we can get you rolling on some of that, because some of it's simple, some of it's stuff you can do remotely, some of it's like, you know, the social media stuff. There's stuff that can be done here, small stuff like install the damn thing I keep forgetting to bring. I'll bring it one day, and then somebody can install it for me for the door.
Should we make you a task on Trello?
There is a task. I think there is a task. It's just every time I leave the house, it's sitting next to me, and I don't grab it.
I'm pretty sure, I will admit, I'm pretty sure I added a task in Trello for somebody to fix the ceiling.
Yeah,
You know,
somebody
like,
fix the
like,
ceiling.
like the scale of tasks is like, you
Yeah.
know, remember to bring the thing
Yeah.
to
Remember to show up.
replace the ceiling, you know.
Right. So, and you know, we're not going to ask a whole lot of you. We just need help in the smallest amount works. Brian's been doing a lot of the announcements. That alone has been fantastic for me because
Congrats, you're on the
I don't
right
have to,
team.
I don't have to sit there
Nice.
every
I've
you
been
know
on the
every
outside
other
for
day
a very
or
long
whatnot
time.
to try and come up with things to post. So.
Are we also going to do the point of contact or the area czar or whatever as part of the ops team? And are we restarting those?
We would like to, and that's, I mean, I talked about it previously, and we haven't really gotten too much from it. I know Scott Gordon said he would be willing to do the metal working, Geo's kind of our welding guy, so we could make those a little bit more official.
Yeah, like Hamster said, he'd take over the electronics bench. You know, so we just need to find someone for the lasers, someone for the 3D printers. And I think keeping it small is probably good.
Yeah.
If somebody says, oh, I want to take over the whole wood shop, I mean, that's great, but maybe somebody wants to take over the wood turning area.
Right.
And so it's not as daunting of a ask to do that.
I agree. That's an excellent point. And yes, I think we will. I think we talked about that before.
We've talked about it, but right now we just need people that want to do a little bit more for
Yeah.
general ops.
I like
And then
baby
if there's
steps.
somebody, yeah. But if somebody really wants to, you know, work on both, please let us know.
All right. So yeah, anything ops, let us know. Moving on, we're gonna go to, where was it? So the new membership process, we've been kind of trialing, and this is kind of my mistake. I apologize. I didn't realize that, no matter how many times I read the bylaws, I didn't realize that the membership process that we use to bring people in, actually to change it has to be voted on. And I was kind of just like, that process is too long, let's try this. So I'm saying we trialed it. We can go back to the old process if you really want, but we outlined the new process and we outlined the old process and we put it in the job form and we're having a vote on it. So the way it works is normally, according to our voting process, normally what would happen is we would have to have quorum here in person of the membership, which is 25% of the membership, here in order to even start the vote. And then there has to be quorum of the vote or things like that. Because of this day and age where a lot of things are virtual, and our meeting attendance isn't great today, it's actually pretty good. This is probably the most I've seen in a bit. So, so even online, actually, yeah, even online. So we're kind of dropping that quorum requirement, but we're allowing people to vote remotely as well. So I sent out an email through MailChimp. So let me know if you didn't get the email, because again, either we have the wrong email on file or it's going to spam, and we want to make sure that those things get figured out. I should have all the spam settings configured on that on MailChimp and on the domain. So we should be good there. But anyway, you should have gotten an email that basically says we need to vote on this. Next meeting, we're going to do the official vote. We're basically just going to have people fill out the job form during that meeting, and then we're going to tally it up and come up with the number by the end of that meeting. So it gives you time if you want to take time to think about it before you vote, or even if you want to change your vote, let us know. But it's really, I mean, we've been running this process for a few months now, and it seems to work great. And it just, I mean, it's quicker, easier, less intimidating for new members, and we haven't had any psychos yet that want to kill anybody or chop their fingers off. So, I mean, besides Mike, but he's been here forever. So.
One thing we've kind of formalized as well is the new membership orientation.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of what pushes this whole thing forward, is that we now actually have what we're going to talk about, and I've explained to you through the lab work as well as one last formal setup, but it's not as intimidating as having it come to the public.
Right. And it is linked in the job form, right? I'm almost
Yeah, I just
sure the orientation is linked in there. Okay, just want to make sure. So if just so you know, you can go and check out the orientation and see that. Now here's the thing. Just like the vote when we move, we can't. Well, the move was a little bit different. So we're not going to hear everybody's opinions and make a bunch of changes during the meeting. We're voting on the process that we have on paper right now. If you don't fully agree with it, you want some kind of change to it, your vote has to be no. And then let us know, there's a comments section, let us know why you chose no, or just reach out to us and let us know why you chose no. And then we can talk about it and maybe make adjustments there if the vote turns out as no, we're not going to pass it. If you do want things changed, even though it does pass, bring it up to us, and if we get enough numbers stating they want to change, we can talk about it. But another thing to keep in mind along that same lines, something we've said before when we talking about voting members in to the board, is that the membership has ways of forcing votes and forcing results. The membership has more control than the board, and that will always be that way while we're on the board. It's just we have the immediate control. And we have the immediate control, but you all have full control. And there's ways to do that by basically getting a number of members together, requesting a vote on a specific topic, and then we go through the process of setting up the meeting and doing the vote. So if we run this, give me a second. So if we run this and it passes, and enough of you want something added to it, raise the vote, we'll get it going, and we'll get it changed. So what's up?
Instead of, well, I would say in addition to that, when you write the new membership policy, you should write yourself a addendum policy rather than having to come up with a brand new policy of some
Probably
sort.
should have did that, but it's already
Okay. Well, it's not voted on yet,
true.
so you can fix it now.
People already voted. So if I add an addendum, then they have to revote. That's not fair. Or they've already voted. They're voting.
Well, you're not adding an addendum yet. You're just changing the policy before it's. I don't know.
Well, that's a good point though. We could probably add that again later, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal having the vote on it. I mean, from what we've seen already, it doesn't look like anybody really is bothered by it, especially the new members that have gone through the new process and have read through the old process and were like, shit, I wouldn't have did that. So, I mean, we don't even really have the ability to do the old process, I don't think, because of the amount of interaction that we have here and the
Well,
operation.
and remember, the old process was actually designed to slow growth down.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, it was an
That makes
actual
sense.
issue at one point.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, let's have that problem again.
I remember when we had meetings where there were 15 people that introduced, 20 people that introduced. It was,
But we had meetings at the 4,000 square foot space where we were standing remotely for like a normal meeting.
we
Not
got
like a
rid of
meeting
some-
to vote if you're gonna move or not.
Yeah, no, it was like that, but just a regular Tuesday.
I mean, we had those in other space. That was what they were like when I joined.
So anyway, that's pretty much all we have to say about that. It's like I said, if you read through it, it's just a faster process. Honestly, part of it was influenced by MakerFX's process because a while back I talked to Ian about it, and that was one of the things he suggested that we do as new board is to adopt a new membership policy because that one's it's too intimidating, it's too time consuming. I remember when I did it, it took me a couple months to go through the process because you had to be on the provisionary badge for a month and then join that meeting, during the next month's meeting, and if you couldn't, you had to wait another month for the next month's meeting. So it was very slow going. It did
Candidly,
slow
I
going.
didn't join for a year probably because that
And a lot of people I've had feedback come from where even people, I have a buddy that does websites and I showed him our website after redesign. He's like, that joining process sounds awful. It's not
You're
why I
welcome.
sent you the link, but okay.
You're welcome.
Right. So,
Back when I joined, I just showed up, I handed him cash, and they gave me a key, a physical key. Back in 2009.
yeah, that was one thing I wanted to mention with the membership due increase. I actually got sidetracked there. Just not to dwell on it or go back to it, but keep in mind it hasn't increased since 2009, right? I mean,
Yeah.
back in
It's been
2009
literally
it
the
was
same.
$50. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's for granted we had to go to a smaller space and whatnot, but who knows, that this might be temporary. We might have bigger space later, but the point is that there's inflation and there's what they say is inflation, but is even worse because
Well,
insurance just
and-
keeps going up.
And $50 a month at the regular membership level got you access to a 20 by 20 storage unit
Right.
with a single, like, 2,000 BTU window air conditioner.
But it had a laser cutter you could put hot dogs on.
I mean,
Such a long pause there.
Would you
And
like a
that's why-
custom engraved hot dog?
And
All right.
that's why
If that's
no
what,
food
that's
in
what
the
you bring
laser
back, I
cutter
got,
is
we'll make that happen.
Right. Okay, let's move on. Sponsors, once again, Elegant Wham Bam and Revo Point are that's me. Our latest bedtime. Our latest sponsors. We haven't really reached out for more because we're still getting that paperwork in order, which I'm working on it. Sorry guys, I've been busy, but I should have that in order this coming week or so, and we can get back into that. So if you have any vendors you would like to reach out to, please make sure you talk to the board first. The board is the only people authorized to speak on behalf of the company, basically in an official capacity. So when it comes to asking for sponsors, asking for assistance grants, things like that, there's the reason the board is the only ones with the authority to do that is because there's legal paperwork that has to be done, and if it's not done, the company can be fined a large amount. So it's not that we want to maintain control, because honestly, I'd rather other people reach out and do those things.
And the board deputize people.
Yes,
After
they can.
starting the
Okay.
process, they could say, you can, let me pass you off to so-and-so.
Yep, as long as you do the paperwork right and all the stuff that you're supposed to do right, then you can do that. So the board can authorize you to do that. You don't have to be a board member. There are some things here and there that the board would rather do, or it should rather come from an official board member. But the other thing to consider is that if you're reaching out and to, like, say, Elegoo reached out to us, but say we reached out to Elegoo instead, and it was just joe@gmail.com, and they say, hey, I want you to sponsor this cool makerspace I'm part of, they're going to question that. So we can get you a FamiLAB email address, especially if you're part of ops, we can get you the FamiLAB email address, and then it can be a little bit more official that way as well. But little things like that, plus, like I said, there's legal paperwork that just has to be in line, and stuff they have to fill out, stuff that you have to fill out, and even ask for assistance. Thank you, Florida. But yeah, so thank you to those sponsors. They were great. In fact, Wham Bam reached out to us during Maker Fair. They gave us a card, a little sample thing, and said, hey, we like maker spaces, reach out to us. So we reached out to them. They sent us some slat mats and the build plates for a couple of the 3D printers. So. Social media posts, just as before, when you make stuff, once we get somebody that's able to do social media, I keep saying I'm going to get on it, but my list just keeps growing, the things I say I'm going to do. So basically, we are going to get somebody on it, post things you make in the I Made This channel, and make sure you put a description of what it is, maybe how you made it, or at least what it's made of, things like that. Because those questions will come up on social media, like on Facebook and whatnot. And if we don't answer them, kind of look like dicks. So it's better to have at least a small description there. So that way, if there's additional questions asked, we can say, hey, why don't you join our Slack channel and talk to the membership there. They'll kind of explain a little bit more in detail about it, but this is all I know about it right now. That's better than no description at all. Just keep that going. I've been seeing a lot of stuff posted in there, so we do have a good backlog of stuff that we can get posted on social media. But keep that coming because that's just awesome stuff that just continues. We do have a blog section on our website. If you want to write a blog, we know we'll get you access. Just we want some sort of board or ops or somebody to approve it first, just because we don't want we don't want a lot of negativity or something like that on there. Something that's going to portray the space in a way that's not, it's not the best way. Also, YouTube. Somebody mentioned, I think John Pierce had mentioned that they like to do video stuff. We do have a YouTube channel. Last video was me doing welding stuff at the old space. So it's been a while. Before that, I think it was like, other than our meetings, obviously, I think it was like 2022. So there's definitely, room to expand on that. If you have anything you want to, like, if you're working on a project, even if you just want to show off a little video clip of, like, I know the shorts are irritating to me. I don't know about other people, but you can post the shorts of, quick snip of something you're building or something you're working on. And, we can get you access to. Just let us know. But social media is another way that we're being found. Is that through Google searches? Google searches and I think Eventbrite have been the two main things that people have been saying they found us through. So events and just Google search through. Google's going to rank us higher when we have more stuff in social media and the website and things like that. I'll jump to open discussion in a minute. Upcoming events, like I was saying before, we got a bunch of new ones on there. Woodworking One with Me, Justin's doing on July 24th. The Art Hangout is on July 31st at 7 p.m. Power Racing, August 6th at 8 p.m.
And tonight, right now.
Yeah, tonight. I got a bunch of boxes. I found a bunch of boxes out there that label Power Racing from the old space. So.
Have a tire.
Yeah.
No issue to need to crowdfund 3 more.
Yeah. So
if you're interested in driving,
yeah, we need a driver.
We need a jockey.
We need a driver. And other team members. Don't worry about money. Just come and help us build it. If you don't know how to build it, that's okay. Neither do we. But I bought a tire.
Just one?
No, I definitely have multiple sets.
Also, the outreach meeting.
China.
Outreach meeting every other Thursday at 7. All these events are on the calendar too. Just kind of throwing some out there. So just so you know, social night is every Tuesday, 7:30. Board meeting. The next board meeting is the second Monday. Open house second Tuesday. Monthly membership meeting obviously. So any open discussions that you guys would like to talk about, issues or things you're working on or anything cool?
There's a hand that went up.
Eileen?
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Open discussion. Let's see. I can add it to the Slack page, but just a comment about a class on boosting Facebook ads effectively. We had talked about in outreach. Potential dates would be like August 14, 15, or 16 that I could teach that class. We've been doing boosts since 2009. So, and I've attended a program with Facebook in Atlanta live. They actually have humans there that teach. And so if there's any interest in that, the 14, 15, or 16th, I'll cross-post it between outreach and just general meta. If people want to respond on better dates, we'll pick a date. Thank you very much for scheduling and putting our Stitch in Fiber Arts meetup on the calendar. I really appreciate that. And we're going to try to boost that. We'll start boosting that around August 11th meetup. We sort of are having a thon at the end of the month with the art meetup and the Fiber Arts meetup together on the same day, but we're in the evening. So it should be, we're in the afternoon and they're in the evening. So it should work out. and might just stay all day. And then just for requests, some of the participants in the fiber arts folks might want to donate snacks. And so I'm just asking if there are snacks of interest. If anybody has a request of snacks to keep on hand that people can donate for. I know they donate for sodas, and I want to be careful not to buy anything that's going to get potentially attract insects. So we'll purchase carefully and pack that stuff carefully in airtight containers, but to put on the shelf if people are, you know, stopping by in between and need a snack or need a sugar, you know, glucose lift. People are welcome to comment now. I can also put that in general meta. I mentioned it, but nobody responded. So if there's any requests on snacks.
I'm just with you on the packed items of some kind. That's why usually I got the big box of chips. But anything that's either resealable, or I would even stay away from resealable. Just the one-time use ones are best.
Yeah, I'm thinking chips, granola bars, maybe even like microwavable, like, I don't know, microwavable ravioli, whatever cups or macaroni cups or something if people are breezing through or have a busy day and haven't really eaten all day.
That's not a bad idea.
So,
I would say if you don't get much feedback, just go ahead and grab a couple things and then just see how it works out. That's kind of mostly what I do. Stuff
Okay.
like that is I just grab something random, and if I see it disappear quick, I know it was a good idea. So.
And then we'll put like a suggested donation amount on it. So if people don't have to, you know, we'll just do the math as we buy it. That
Right.
way, you know, and they can put their money in the box or what have you. Let's try to double the value. So,
Sounds good.
all right, we'll work on that.
Yeah, I feel like was that it?
Thank you again for putting fiber arts back on the schedule and for giving us space to have fiber arts. That was the other thing. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, crafts we just have junk instead of big machinery, but it matters when we have hooks and looms and that kind of stuff available for folks when they first come in for the first visit. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, since we made the agenda, we didn't update it. There are a couple more events, like Eileen's event, the Stitch in, what was it called?
Stitch in. Yeah, stitch in.
And then there was another one.
So John
Just-
did his Blender one just yesterday. It was brand new. For August 25th, he's gonna do a Blender class. John, you want to talk about it, or we'll have one more meeting right before it. So, but you've got scheduled for August 25th.
What was on the 25th? I couldn't hear it.
A Blender class.
Yeah, it's a Blender class on precision modeling, I think. I don't know if you heard, John. Are you able to talk about it, or do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I can just kind of quickly go over that. My thought on it, I didn't know what to call it. It's not really a class necessarily, but I thought I would go through kind of presenting for folks that are more on the artistic side or want open source software. We would look at 2 add-ons that give you the ability to use Blender 3D software to model and then export for use in 3D slicers, which is covering the part for 3D printing. But maybe a more interesting way to use Blender is to generate CAM G-code paths for CNC. So I'll be covering how do you set up Blender for precision modeling so that you can rely on your measurements and generate things that are reliable when you print or mill them. And we'll go through basic setup, basic modeling, and then I'll walk through the add-ons, Blender Cam and SketchCAD for Blender to show how we can do that. So hopefully some folks will be interested in it. If anyone has any ideas on specific things that they'd like to see, feel free to chime in on that. I'll work that in.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, thank you. That's awesome. I don't think I missed any other ones. I think those are the 2 that.
No, there was a request from a non-member emailed and reached out about an Arduino class, perhaps. And that's something I know I'd be interested in as well. I've done a little bit playing around on the back end, but honestly, it takes me forever to research it every decision.
I used to teach those.
So, if somebody, and I know I think I've heard a couple other people bring it up just randomly as well. So if anybody wants to put one on the calendar, I'm not qualified, so I will not be. But
Can I throw just another idea out here? There's nothing really preventing us from doing full virtual classes.
Right.
So, like, because I'm 45 minutes plus from here. So if I wanted to teach a class, it's probably 2+ hours before I teach the class. So I've lost half of a good day, or all of an evening. But if I did like a 1-hour class Monday night at 9 o'clock, yeah, online only. Some certain things can be like John's Blender class, for instance. Maybe he wants to do it in person, but maybe there's somebody who just wants to join online. I don't know how we go about that, but it's just a thought that we can toss around and figure out how to make that.
The presentation I'm doing is ideal for that because it's all screen. There's no hands-on. So in fact, if you want to get with me on how we might do it remotely, I'm happy to do it from home. And
I don't know how to do it, but
I could help you with it though if you wanted to. I don't know if you wanted to do it from home, or even if you want to do it from here and offer it to people remote.
When we schedule the class on the calendar, you can actually add the meeting to it and just use the Google Meet. It's free. It has no limit.
Yeah.
I would say it is nice for a presenter to know a general idea of what kind of audience they might have. So maybe doing something like that would also help track the RSVPs. I don't know if we have something where people sign up for events already or not.
You can put it on the Eventbrite so we can get a tracking of who they are as well. Yeah, just give them
and we can even throw that behind a password as well, so we don't have randos showing up to the meeting.
Yeah. There is a form though for when you do classes. It's just so you guys all know, it's the one that's in the agenda actually. It's l.familab.org/signup. Have people fill that out when they come to your class or your event, so we can get a good head count and kind of know who's coming for what. Just it kind of helps us when we're going into things like asking for grants or extra money or just deciding where money's going to go. So, but yeah, what I was saying was that we could do it anyway. You can do a hybrid in any way, whether you do it from home, and then everybody's remote, or if you, like I said, if you want to do it here, set up the camera like we have here. I can help you set things up and kind of show you how things work, and then next time you can just do it yourself, or I can help you again. But
I'm happy to come in there. I mean, speaking in front of people is also a good way to have interaction and
yeah. Cool. Thank you, sir. We were still on open discussion.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything to show off or talk about? I will point out that Brian is awesome and brought in a Samsung HMD Odyssey.
Yeah, it's a VR headset. Microsoft is discontinuing support for it on Windows 11 in like a few months. If you're still on Windows 10, you've got a year and a half.
That's just support though. It'll probably still work.
No, it won't, because it requires Windows components and they're being strict with Windows.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, it's fun to play with for a little while at least.
Yeah, it works with Steam VR, which is all that really matters, assuming the Windows components can install. Because that's the part that provides like the tracking and everything. So once those are gone, it will not be functional. But hey, feel free to play around with it. It may need batteries for the controllers.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Also a reminder that we still have the 3D scanner sitting over here as well. I'm actually thinking these would go better in the lobby with the video game stuff just to get them out of the way. And then the other thing I want to mention, some things start showing up. I guess I'm not even on camera. Some things are just showing up with a note that says free to anybody to take. That's awesome. I don't want to discourage that. But again, we moved into quite a smaller space, so we want to limit that kind of stuff. At the very minimum, put a date on it so we can see if it's been sitting here for a while and hasn't gone anywhere. It can be thrown away. We might have a process later in the future Mike had developed a process in the past that I like, eventually like to get into. But yeah, but things like this, make sure you're also posting it in the stuff exchange, so that people know it's there. Same thing with things getting dropped off for trade. I know I've done it too. I've had somebody drop something off here and I've come and picked it up. I don't mind that. It's just, again, we're limited on space, so try and limit to how long that stays here, or, you know, at a minimum, let everybody know. At a very minimum, let everybody know why it's here, because things that show up without a name on it might end up getting thrown out or repurposed. I used somebody's air filters recently because I thought the AC guy left them here. It turned out they were here for his project. So things like that. In his defense, his name was underneath it, so that was kind of my bad. But yeah, make sure you put a date on it, a name on it. And if you do leave things here for a project, remember, if you're not paying for the space and it's not designated in that spot, it can only stay out for a little while. Otherwise, we're going to start moving it, putting it away, or throwing it out, or reaching out to you and telling you to take care of it, because again, we don't have the space for extra stuff to be cluttering up. We want to keep it a little organized. But yeah, I think that's it, unless anybody has anything else they want to go over. All right, we'll call it. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, both online and in person. And we'll conclude today's meeting.
Bye. Look at all the emojis.
Okay, bye.